take Dark down. This is a best of 5 ZVT finals in the Kung Fu Cup. Our Blue Zerg player is Solar from Triumphant Song Gaming. And having taken down Dark to get here, surely he's a favorite in this series. Our Red Terran from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure. Game 1 of the best of 5. As we start this off, we get this going. Look to see what will happen here over the next couple minutes. You just see the Overlord kind of coming through down to the bottom right. Rax Refinery getting started as well. The Kung Fu Cup's going to be named the Cure Fu Cup soon. It might honestly be. I mean, if he wins this, it'll be 3 of the last 4 he's won. I don't think he played in the one he didn't win. Or did he play against... Did he lose against TY? I think he lost against... No, he lost against SOS, right? He lost against SOS when SOS, like, Resonating Glaive adept all in him a few times in a run. It was like... it was one of those series that you come out of, like, typing ... Like, did I really just lose to this guy? It was fairly amusing, as you have the... Overlord just heading down in the bottom. Another game setting up as we will see an SCV moving its way to the upper left side of the map. So a little bit of a scout coming in here, and a Leon from Cure. Setting that up to the top left. As you see this hatchery from Solo about to finish up on the natural, so it's going to be hatch gas and spawning pool. To get this going. No aggression for Cure to worry about this game, not going to have to deal with roaches. I'm really intrigued to see if he goes 2-1-1 against Solar in any of these games of this series, considering that he didn't do it. He did it against Dark twice. I wonder if that was just partly because of the scout. But the thing is with 2-1-1, you actually have to go Rax Gas instead of Gas Rax early, so you kind of make that decision before you scout. So yeah, intrigued to see if that comes up again, because that's something you don't see a lot of anymore, the 2-1-1. It's really a build that's just not really been active in the meta game for a very long time. As you see this Reaper going to escape away, jump down, link speed starting from Solar, third hatchery on the way as well. Here on a Fem run for map number 1 of the series. Not sure what the map order is, guys. They vetoed in a party or something, so I didn't get to see any of that. What I do know is that these guys are both very good, and I have to say that for a while, about a year and a half ago, even when Cure was kind of first coming back, because there was a while where Cure just didn't really play in anything. A good long while where he just didn't play in anything at all. He kind of arrived again and started playing a lot more stuff. And Cure and Solo just met each other time and time again in that sort of period. And they've played against each other so much because they're both players that have played in a lot of the online events. And lately, Cure has been... okay against Solo, has been okay against Solo. He won 2-0, 2-1, and 2-0 again. And actually, 2-0 Solo in the last 2 Kung Fu Cups that Solo played in. So he eliminated him from 2 of those. And he beat him in the WardiTV Christmas Invitation. As you see Hellions driving by, you're going to get a few of these drones. A bit more damage being done there. 5 workers down for just 1 Hellion. Is actually not so bad, even getting a Ling on the end. Who's the Reaper, though? 2 more Hellions. Is he going to go for it? I mean, there's not a lot of Lings left up, right? So, there's some opportunity. Gets 1 drone and just says, okay, I'll just escape out via the 3rd, where there's 1 more drone, but it morphs into a Sport Crawler. I was just going to say, overall, Solar is 34-24 in matches against Cure, but they've been playing each other since, well, most of those matches are since, like, 2018, like I said, when Cure kind of returned a bit. But, yeah, other than that, they first played against each other in Pro League in 2014. And then IEM Shenzhen, they played a more than a best-of-1 series. That was also in 2014. Crazy to think these guys have been playing against each other for 5 years or so now. A lot of history between them since Heart the Swarm. Yeah, there really was just, again, that phase in, like, 2018 or so where they played against each other so much in base trade events, WardiTV events. They even met up in GSLs. And it was just like, God, do these guys ever stop playing each other? And they just kept trading matches with each other too. Q would win, then Solo would win. So it really is kind of a cool history between them. Zergling's going to get a few Zerglings there. You see the Hellions take quite a bit of damage. Queen's pushing those Hellions away down the right side. We have a Banshee from Q that came in and got a couple kills, but not too much. Against that Cloakless Banshee, similar to what he did against Dark on Triton. That Cloakless Banshee never really did much. In the end, he ended up winning that game through pure aggression. I tell you what, in this game, he's going to have a big advantage on the upgrades. 1-1 way further along here than it will be for Solar, who's only just now starting the Evo Chambers, so... Hellions make a dive. Oh my god, those drones stacked up there. These Hellions will go down. 4 workers killed as the Banshee is in for a couple more as well on the natural. Doing a decent job of this. And that Queen is looking for the pick-off. Doesn't quite get it. High ground vision helped there for a moment. Hey, what's up, Slag Neslin? Thank you so much for the fresh new subscription. Welcome to the Wardy family. And don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed today's matches, the replays of these games will go out to subscribers. So if you're looking to get your hands on those Dark replays and Cure games, they will go out to subscribers. So if you want to subscribe for those, well, get to it. Support the channel, get great replays. What more can you ask for? As you see, these Marines are going to be able to pick this Overlord off. As other Marines over here are going to be loading up and escaping away in the medevac. So that'll come back out over to this right-hand side. Setting up again as Lingus take a little bit more damage. A Bane Loom, the Frontier, going to be under fire as well. And still, well, a couple more Banes just getting picked off. 22 more Zerglings on the way out, and we will see Marines and, again, a couple of tanks just loading up and heading up the right-hand side. A few more Marines just unloading here and getting ready to go. There's a couple extra Banes morphing. Banes pressing forwards. Have that Bane speed about to finish up from Solar as Marines coming all the way forwards here. A couple of tanks sieging up. Combat Shield's not here yet, but I mean, neither is Bane speed for Solar. It's about to finish up. I mean, that's so important. Counter-attack's not going to do much from Solar across the map. We'll not checking on that because, well, there's just no need to. It's actually running away already. And Q's push will just deny the 4th base and, well, just all the drones he's picked off early, plus this timing where 1-1 is done against 0-0. Just puts Q into a really good spot. I mean, part of this was Solar sent so many units across the map to counter-attack, and then they didn't do anything. So that obviously doesn't help Solar out either. He still doesn't have 1-1 though. And so Solar looks like he's just in a ton of trouble as Q is knocking on the front door. Behind this, Q just continues to build up extra tanks, 2-2 upgrades. Solar just looking to stay on Ling Bane as well, by the way. Not looking to take up any further than this. As here we go. Maybe you want them to go in there, but doesn't go just yet. Tank shots do well to hit a lot of the Ling Bane. A 4th hatchery now from Solar to the left-hand side. We've got to expand somewhere. It's not a good base to expand into because the Terran push from this 3rd up to that 4th base. There's no creep in between it, and it's just really powerful. A couple of Banes mixed into this here, and they will force the Marines to split up, and that was maybe what was missing in the counter-attack we didn't look at on screen before, but watched on the mini-map as Q was trading across the map as well. In the end, a few Lings actually do pretty well, and Q's actually going to have to come back to deal with this. I mean, 3rd base still losing some SCVs. The natural going to start losing some SCVs. 11 workers down so far. Marines picking away a little bit extra. Lings will go down. 12 workers picked off, and just going to be seeing Ling Bane from Solar ready to push down on the bottom side. Marines unloading, and tanks here as well, still in the medevac, helping them to move around. There's a good counter from Solar. He needed something to break up the momentum of Q to kind of force Q back a little bit, and to then also get damage done. Really maybe bring Solar back into the game a step. Problem is now Solar is being pushed against a Terran army, or by a Terran army that has 2-2 upgrades about to finish. Drilling Core is going to be done soon as well. It just feels like, again, it's a scenario where Solar is going to be in a lot of trouble once more, but this time around he already has a good amount of units positioned to the right, so a good amount of Ling Bane sat over here waiting to strike. Okay, coming up the right side, Marines, a couple of siege tanks going up there as we'll see the units from Q unloading in the center. Pushing forwards, we'll find a couple of creep tumors here too. Widowmine burrows up and will not get to fire. Ooh, second Widowmine found the clump of Banelings rather than the single one that was split away. Solar, bit of miss micro there, allowing Q to get a bit more done, and Q is still edging up that supply advantage. just little by little. We saw with the way he played against Dark, he's very happy to just play the advantage very slowly, right? To just slow roll it throughout the course of the game. Doesn't want to go and just overcommit to one big attack, but will instead take lots of small attacks, each of them putting him further ahead. Gonna recruit Jimmy here, we'll turn. Free Overlord, yes please. And now the Ling's coming over and should just live to move back to his tanks, right? I mean, there's a reason you set these tanks up over here. Give you a chance to kind of fight against these units a bit more easily. Target firing some of the Banes in the background. You get a few more of those Banes, the Marines might continue to trade. Well, it's just not quite enough Marines left over. Bottom left-hand side, Ling Bane cleaned up a couple of medevacs too. But again, Q is up on 4 bases, he's looking comfortable. At least Solo is up on 5, and he's starting to get creep spread out in front of his bases as well. But what is his tech doing? I mean, he's still on pure Ling Bane. Finally, at 11 minutes, an Ultra's Cavern comes down, but, you know, you can be seeing an Ultra Cavern as early as 8-9 minutes in these kind of games when you go pure Ling Bane, usually. So a bit different there as Widowmine's burrowing up, Bane's pressing through, and, well, Widowmine does go off. A few Marines stimming out over to the left-hand side, and again, just the Ling Bane of Solar back down the right. More Marines showing up here, and again, more Zerglings getting picked off as well. Widowmines will burrow up, and still just a lot of these Lings really doing much at all. I mean, it's just the power of this stacked up Marine army when you don't have to split away from Banelings. Lings surround and you just don't do well when the Marines on high enough numbers, and that's exactly what's happening. I mean, finally, the Ultras Cavern coming up, the Adrenal Glands on the way, Viper's coming through as well, but it just feels like all of this is just so late for Solar. However, he will once again get a big connection. Goodbye to the SCVs. Banelings blowing up a mineral line. So little plays like that keep Solar in the game, just keep the economy from building up too much here from Q. Maybe that's that third armor upgrade going down. I think it will. So you'll lose an armor upgrade here after the engineering bay gets targeted. It's just a little slow to get some Marines to go and deal with that. So 18 workers and +3 armor. It's a nice pick off from Solar. And Q still holding the supply lead though. Back around to the left. You do see Widowmines coming over too. Oh, Widowmines blowing up a bunch of drones over here. Should lift up this one though. It's a little lazy from Pure. I mean, he's just got other things going on, right? But could have saved one of those Widowmines. Another Ling counterattack from Solar. As he defends pretty well with the Banelings on this left-hand side. He's going to get a bunch more SCVs here if there's not units here sometime soon. Widowmine blows up. Actually, now he blows up some SCVs more so than Lings. Finally, the bio on the way back. Maybe you just build a wall off over here as, you know, Q. You're not really doing much on this left-hand side. You know, you're moving all your units up the left-hand side anyways. Why not just get a wall up here? I mean, maybe then it just forces the Banes to bust it down, but at least that's more of an investment from Solar than just the Zerglings, right? And takes a little bit more thought to set up. Right now he's just kind of grabbing a group of Lings and just running them across the map, and they're getting ridiculous amounts of damage done. Now Ultras are going to take to the field. +3 attack at least will finish, and there's still no 3-3 on the way from Solar. He's been very drained this game, struggling to stay in it because of the resources lost being in Q's favor and his own economy. I guess actually his own economy has been good for a little while now. A good Widowmine shot was targeted into the center of the Zerglings, so really able to maximize the splash damage. And the Bollock Synthesis starting up on the Ultras Cavern here as well, and just going to be seeing the +3 carapace from Solar in the back of the third base. Bio pushing over. Bio going to go after a few of these Zerglings. I mean, this is what Q was doing so well against Dark, just attacking multiple places at the same time. That Widowmine, I think, just blew up a medevac of units, though. I think that was a very bad friendly fire on the Widowmine. The thing is, what Dark never had was the economy that Solar has, the 85 drones to just stay in it. And that's going to make a big difference here throughout this game. As we're going to be seeing Lings, Banes rolling forwards, Marauders in the front. Able to do a lot. We see a couple of Crypt Humans going to be picked away at. Rolling is coming up this right-hand side. Some extra Banelings from Solar will start up as well. And again, the Bayou units here, well, picks off that Baneling pretty much right away. The rest of this army still on the right. In the center here, QS setting up as well. And it's going to be seeing +3 armor on the engineering bay. Coming up too. Still some Zerglings being picked away at. You're trying to micro for some Ultraless kills. If he target fires, that one will go down, and maybe the other one too. Is he in range? The Ultra's just back on creep. Anabolic Synthesis helping to get back onto the creep spread there initially is a nice little save. Forces him to lift up here. Loses the ultra, but forces him to lift and leave. Next round of units on the bottom left-hand side. We see Widowmine's already burrowing up as Solo's the one to initiate this attack down towards this planetary fortress. There's too many units here to truly break through, though. Spire on the way now from Solo, as this game really has been kind of held in a bit of a mid-game scenario. Marine Marauder heading up the top, but the Widowmine's going off. Just going to be seeing the Bioforce able to pick away and kill off the hatchery here. So hatchery will go down. +3 carapace again going to be finishing soon as we see the rest of these lings coming down the right. Mine blows up. Just going to be seeing the rest of this setting up as well. The Banes continuing over again. Medivacs will load up and start to escape up the right side. There's another parasite bomb though. A couple of units going to start unloading from that Medivac. It will go down. Solo staying maxed out. Ooh, he's going to get maybe a bit of a surround on this army of Cure this time. Cure might be able to split away thanks to the planetary. He's just able to edge his way down the south. Yes, Widowmine's here to help out with this planetary hold. Solo's starting to run out of banelings, so it's only going to be ultras left. SCVs didn't try to repair the planetary, maybe too afraid of the ultra swaves, maybe too afraid of the banelings. Solo lost a lot of units in this attack though, and his rebuild is not going to bring him anywhere near the supplies of Cure. So Cure actually has a much better armor supply pushing forward, but for the first time in a long time, maybe Solo actually really is just down and hurting when it comes to numbers here. Ultras transfused and saved, but only just in those queens. Well, they have a few more transfusions, but not endless amounts. So this won't happen for too much longer. Now Liberator's in play. This will be massively helping against those Ultras as well. And there's just not enough Banes to break through these numbers, it seems. Sola is... I mean, I'm actually really impressed Sola's kept this base up for so long. It's not an easy base to hold, but the aggression he's put up out in the game has allowed him to keep this base going. And that's very impressive. We see a few more Zerglings around up from the top. Marine sitting behind this. Game is called from Sola, and Cure will take the first map of the Grand Finals here today in the Kung Fu Cup. Never really let one drop just die not doing anything, you know? He is always fighting for every single unit. Really good effort by Solo. He spawns in that blue Zerg bottom right-hand side to stay in the game, because it was really looking bad for him early. There was a point where I just thought actually the game was already done at like the 8-9 minute marker, but the run-bys really brought him back into it. Just not quite enough to take down Cure, who is our red Terran in the top left of the map. So, as we set this up, command center building here. I'm just going to be seeing the... game getting going. So yeah, SCV just on the way up. Can see hatch gas and spawning pool soon to come down here from Solar. A little bit of a slow opening. I mean, gives us a moment or two to breathe after that last game. Don't think there's even much more to say about it. It was just a great game, and well, if the rest of the series is like this, let's hope for 5 maps, because very, very entertaining to watch. And what a bracket today, actually. I haven't really watched Solo until he hit the semi-finals. He started off the day against Prince, then Percival, a couple of up-and-coming Korean players, and he took down Wanted, a Chinese Zerg. Then Innovation 2-1, Firefly in the semis. Cure's run pretty sick as well. I mean, taking down Dark, I think the highlight of that in that semi-final matchup we casted. Great bracket today, though. The only series I'm really sad that I didn't cast and that I don't have replays for is Innovation versus Zest. I might even try and contact Inno or Zest and maybe see if we can get some those replays, because they were in game for a while, so that might be a good one to cast up for the YouTube or something. Anyways, let's continue through, as we do have Reaper arriving to play the Zergling Dance. Hatch Castle Pool again from Solo, as I mentioned earlier, means no early aggression here right away. See the first Ling's already taking some damage. First Ling will go down. Ling coming out and Reaper, whoa, nearly grenaded itself. Took a turn where it didn't really want to. Q going to change up the builds a little bit and does go 3cc off the one gas this time around. So from the start, is going to be going in towards the, big high, macro-based play. Just a few Hellions on the map early. It's these sort of scenarios where you cannot afford to lose workers to the early Hellions as Solar. Because if you lose these workers to the early Hellions, the Terran's already building up a really good economy. For you to lose workers on top of that, it's just going to put Kira into an amazing position. So you do see the two Hellions on the way out, Ling Speed coming through, and Pneumatized Carapace building on the main. So getting that roll, and again there's that third hatch coming up as well. Reaper pressing forwards, we do see the drones taking some shots as the Reaper turns away up to the top. Ends up escaping away there. And you'll see the starport starting up a Liberator as well. So yeah, Reaper and two Hellions just down the left-hand side. Pressing forwards, already dealing some damage to Reaper, and well, the Hellions are going to try and they get a creep tumor. That's nice. Creep tumor there. It's always nice to get a creep tumor, right? Especially nowadays, the compy cancels, so diving on them has that little bit more of a benefit. Stimpack starting from Q, so it's just really fast into bio off of this 3cc opening. He's going to float the 3cc out at 4 minutes here. That's so quick. That's so ridiculously quick. Factory moves off the reactor, making way for the extra racks, but yeah, just absolutely no fear here from Q. I mean, he's got the map control, he's got the Hellions, and guess what has he got to be afraid of? Well, not really a lot. Bob Vernon, thank you so much for the 10-month Twitch Prime resub. Appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. As you see our Hellions still setting up here. Try and deal some damage. Reaper Grenade going down, and Lings just getting picked away, so a couple of Lings getting picked off. Liberator gets shot down in the main base, only picking off one drone. One drone goes down, Liberator well defended and Solo not really taking any damage at all, which again is exactly what he needs to do against this sort of build up from Kua. Can't really afford to fall behind. He will actually, because of the way that the Terran build goes, this time Solo will get the slight upgrade lead for himself. So again, just a couple Hellions, Reaper. Coming back up the left side. That last starting in the main base, going to be coming up as well, as we do see the creep being cleaned down. Going to pick off both those creep tumors in the end, and the Queen's still pressing forwards to force Kua back towards the center. Again, just some small skirmishes here. Solo once again going to play Ling Bane. We'll see if he adds in like a Spire or a Hydralisk Den this time. He really has been, though, since even Home Story Cup in the summer. A player who's been really just playing the same style, which is just pure Ling Bane, much more often than he plays other styles of ZVT. So it's always been one of those big advocates for just staying on Ling Bane, rushing up towards Hive and Ultras. Obviously, this game doesn't fall as far behind. Getting up to the Ultras might happen a bit before the 11-minute Ultra getting timing. Typically you want a Hive at 8, Ultra Cavern at 9:15. Ultra's out by 10:15. Yeah, Ultra's out by like 10:30ish, 11 minutes. Not Ultra Cavern going down at 11. That's how this style's meant to work. But obviously, last game he had to just make up for the fact that he was taking a lot of damage and he had to fight his way back in. You can't tech up while surviving. So, it was very late to the Ultras. I never really got like a crazy number of Ultras out either. And so we'll get a Ling drop into the main base here. Getting ready to unload this. Ling's going to run by, SCV is going to start taking some damage, and one SCV will go down. Second SCV going to get picked off as well. 2-2 upgrades coming through from Solo as Marines and Hellions showing up. Ling is taking quite a bit of damage there. I mean, good dealing with the drop, right? You're not going to lose too much here as Kua. A couple of SCVs, and then you're going to be pulling back. As these SCVs apparently pulled off the third base as well. A little bit of attack there. Either way, whatever's happening, Good defense. Looks like there was a Baneloon drop here from Solar. So yeah, really good defense of the drop play. And now, a lot of Lings up on the map, but that said, there is a big push coming through. Does Solar have enough to defend? Ooh, nice raise on the deep post. The natural will be walled off for the moment. He might not be able to focus on pushing forwards while this is happening, mind you. So that means that his army on the other side of the map is currently stationary, and obviously more Lings will, more Banes will continue to set up, which will be the real answer to that push. But it's a good defense from Q. He really doesn't take much damage from this. I mean, now he's starting to lose some SCVs. Got these SCVs to probably just pull away towards the mineral line again. 9 workers lost, but it's a lot of Zerglings on Solar. It's very expensive 9 worker kills. Hey, what's up, Lambo? Thank you so much for the raid, and welcome everybody from the Lambo stream. Hope you guys are doing well. You're joining us in the grand finals of today's Kung Fu Cup, Q versus Solar. Q leading this 1-0. We had a crazy good game number 1. And Q in general playing amazing TvZ today, taking down Dark in the semi-finals. Still setting up in the top, more Banes gathering together, and just going to be seeing Marines pressing through. Banelings going down as well. The rest of these Banes going to be rolling up in towards the natural. They're going to go towards this mineral line, and SCV's immediately in some trouble. A bunch of workers going down. The rest of the Marines coming over. They will clean this up, but man, that was again a bit more of a successful attack, and at the same time, look who's breaking out of this contain. Solar's going to take down these units out the front, so able to clean this up. Again, Solar just really relying on those counterattacks as a way to break out onto the map and to kind of, push Q back. This position is still very weak for Solar, though, because there's no creep there. So because of the army being parked here, no creeps being able to spread into that position. Q is pushing with, again, a 50 army supply advantage. He is down on upgrades, though. He's missing +2 armor. He actually never started that, so that's a big issue for him, never starting +2 armor. At least he's got the attack upgrade coming in. That'll be done soon, but that'll, he'll still be behind on the upgrades. 2-2 done from Solar for a little while now. His army supply now right back up, only down by about 20. With the upgrade lead, might be enough. Big Ling counterattack once again. Q has not rebuilt that wall from previously. That was busted down by Banelings. He's going to stim a few Marines back to try and help out, and they will initially do alright here. Meanwhile, I think this big army has to try and do something, but it's so hard when you have to try and micro that and also defend at home. Let's see as he pulls back off a creep with the majority of the Marines against the Banes. So there's a lot of SCVs again on the other side of Solar. Ling Bane still coming through again. It's a very late hive, even later than the last game actually. So Kua, he's going to get pushed back, but the fact he's playing against such a late hive means that he should be able to take the +3 attack upgrade lead. And he should still be able to kind of hang in there because it's only Ling Bane that's being made from Solar. There's nothing else to support this still. Which makes this much more difficult to kind of end the, it's so hard to end the game on Ling Bane, which is why eventually after playing Ling Bane throughout the game, you switch in towards Ultras, etc. too. More Ling Bane out around the right side, Marines and Widow Mines in the center. +3 attack does indeed start, so again, that'll be the upgrade lead to kick in for Cure at some point. Depends how fast Solar is to go into his own 3-3, but he's going to have a lot to build when he gets to Hive. Adrenal Glands, the Ultra's Cavern, those are both going to be expensive already. Then 3-3 on top of that, he barely has any money in the bank because he's been making enough Banes to hang on in here, time after time against these attacks from Cure. Widowmine gets picked off, Solar backing away on the top. Marines lifting up into Medivacs and just going to be seeing him pulling away the left-hand side. Again, Solar has big surges of unit production. Let's see if he can do something with this one as Widowmine's continuing out here with the Drilling Claws in play. Yeah, got Zerglings into the natural though, and there's not even a full wall off on the main base because of, again, Bane's already previously busting down this depot here. Here comes the big fight on the front as it is Solar looking as though he's breaking through, and Kura's army supply is just spread out all over the place. He's going to lose so many SCVs here because his army has mostly gone to the natural to defend that attack there. So he loses 29 workers, falling down massively in the worker count. So now he's down 30 workers, and Solar, well, he's going to really take an army supply lead here very soon for the first time in a long time, because now he's got the economy to just mine so much more than Cure. Here's a planetary over here that's defending, but again, it's such a frustrating style from Solar that Cure is playing against, but it's working out so well from Solar as well, right? It's working out really, really well. As the Ultra's Cavern here from Solar in the back of this mineral line, that's going to be finishing up shortly. Some more Lings of Solar up the right-hand side as Widow Mines takes to the center. A couple of those could burrow up already here, and again, looks like the Lings might go on a bit of a run by 2. Adrenal Gland's just halfway done, plus 3 Carapace coming up. Queen's going to get the Liberator that's trying to harass, so Kyo's way of harassing back into this game isn't working out yet. Thing is, Solar now, what he's done is he's not going to end the game, but he's going to force Kyo to kind of lay low and rebuild. And as he does that, Solar takes full advantage by investing into upgrades and tech. Plus 3 Carapace, Adrenal Gland's chitinous plate. And we talked about how it's going to be so difficult to afford all of that before, but with the damage he's done, he now finally has some breathing room to actually do that. This Kyo here looks as though he might just have to stay back. He's keeping a lot of units here defensively this time to fight against these Zerglings. There's a lot of Lings as the Banes, they don't even continue forwards. They'll back away well in advance, so definitely Kyo changing up his style as this game continues, knowing that these run-bys are really being the kind of downfall of him. In the last game, it was kind of the same story. They just weren't quite enough to kind of overturn his advantage. In this game, they've really given Solar quite the lead. But again, I mean, it's quite a lead to then build up into what the position Solar wanted to be in originally anyways. They've been playing a good game until now. And that's why Solar is, I mean, now he's only just starting one Ultra out, second one starting. It's still only Ling Bane. It's still not super terrifying army that Kyo is playing against. There's a Parasitic Bomb that's going to kill this Medevac here, so that will have to pull away. Still more bio in the center, plus 3 armor upgrade as well. Now some Marine Roar stepping forwards and some Lings. Some trouble. Lift up is a little bit late. Kyo leaving a little less at home now, and this run by coming across the map. He is going to stem forwards. So pushing through the center again, maxing out once more now. Both these players don't really have much of a bank. Kyo a little bit more, but he still has to max out. I mean, Solo again, he spent his money, and he's not maxed out because he's been tacking up towards the Ultra, so he's been changing up his comp. Kills 15 workers in this attack here, so again, Kyo taking some damage, but he does take down all the Lings this time. And as Kyo sets up, he could perhaps, or maybe, pop up this ramp. I mean, he's slowly just working his way through a lot of the creeps, so taking away some of the control from Solo, some of the vision that he holds. Ultras on the right side, maybe looking for an attack. A few Lings around the top as well. They're just going to go counter, maybe a counter into the natural again. Only an orbital there. It doesn't take a lot of Lings to have something effective going on with that position. That or they're just going to wait for the kind of full-on surround here as he tries to engage. The thing is, Q is sitting mostly down this ramp where he's got this kind of set of rocks to choke him up, so it's difficult, but Solar is prepared to come in from 3 angles, the top, the left, and the right. A couple of drones going down. We don't mind dropping to the natural cause of that. This Ultra's going to go a bit far forwards, but not much coming in to kind of fight against it. We don't might as well burrow up to try and fight off these Zerglings. The Ultra is taking some damage as well. Ultra will go down, but it's Lings left over. And Q has to go stimming some more Marines back home to try and help out with this. However, we actually still see a bunch of Banes running in. So the Bane's going to have to be dealt with as well. And it looks like Q is going to give up this forward position, running all the way back home to deal with this. A couple Lings on the third base picked off now. There's still Banes around on the natural. Solar's going to come running in towards the third. Couple Widowmine's not burrowed just yet. We'll get them now as he actually kills off all the Overseers. So these Widowmines should get a chance to fire. The Viper comes in, drops down a Parasitic Bomb. Solar with some of the units of Kyo forced up into Medevac still can't break this position. He's down 27 army, but up 20 workers after killing 13 more again. Q are making a play for a 5th base, and if you can hold a 5th base, I mean, that's a forward planetary fortress position. Planetary fortresses are one of the big ways he'll hold on against what Solar is doing, because Solar can't afford to throw too many Banelings at these bases. It's the Lings that are very expendable. And with a planetary fortress up, it's going to take way more to actually get damage done. So that is something which Q, when he gets this up here, should be very happy about, because it's something that should just, I mean, it should put him in a much better position. So Q is still hanging on in here. As the Lings will counterattack yet again, need I say it. Solar not even finding the money to rebuild the Ultras. A couple of them that he had have gone down. As these initial Banelings coming down this ramp, not doing a lot. The Widowmine burrowing up is going to get the last couple, so it's only Zerglings left over. And now Kua has the numbers to push through and win. Another ridiculous game from Kua that he's able to win out in the end. Fantastic stuff. We're seeing in the top right-hand side, our blue Zerg player from Triumphant Song Gaming is Solar. Taking on the red Terran in the bottom left-hand side, Kua from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Man, he is just playing some ridiculous TvZ today. Like some ridiculous TvZ today. He's playing real well. I mean, I really thought Solar had that one kind of on the way to victory, but just wasn't able to close it out. Wasn't able to close it out. Man. I'm actually just kind of gobsmacked still that it happened. I mean, as a, I'm a bit of a Terran fanboy, I'm not going to lie. So maybe I'm always cheering for Kira a little bit, but yeah, crazy games. Anyways, this is a gas pool opening from Solar, so he's absolutely looking to be aggressive here in game number 3. Change it up a little bit, because trying to just play his macro game is not currently working. And this, by the way, again, if you lose this as Solar, this would be the 4th series you've lost against Kira in the last month. Kira's just had his number. The only time he's lost him recently in November of 2019 was in the Home Story Cup group stages. Solar won that one 2-0. That was off the brand new patch though, so I think there was some styles there that Kira maybe wasn't super aware of. Since then, he's just been dominating Solar. Dropped 1 map out of 3 series so far. This has been the 4th. Well, there's the Rotron. Now, the thing is, we have seen Kira deal with this earlier today. And as he scouts across, he sees it's a pool first. He'll keep the Reaper at home. Solar is sending the links forward, so you can see the difference in what Kira does now against Solar versus what he did earlier against Dark. Which is that earlier against Dark, he sent the Reaper across straight away. Here against Solar, he doesn't send the Reaper across at all to go and scout. The reason being, he's got nothing to really... because he's afraid of the Ling showing up and delaying the CC, but he knew Dark was kind of keeping the Lings back at home. So it's again just a cool little identification of, players seeing different things in different games and just preparing for different opponents. 6 roaches on the way then from Solar, and see what it can do. Again, the problem is Q's had so much practice against this today because of what, Dark did it to him twice. And there's going to be a factory-based opening as well, so it's not going to be the Raxes coming up. So it's not going to be a 2-1-1 setup that he was doing against Dark when this came on Zen. So he's not going to have a ton of units here. But it does mean the tech lab on the factory is a lot faster, so your defense against this will be much faster too. Obviously you can go in towards a Cyclone or so. And a Cyclone is very, very good at this as the factory gets the tech lab down. Extra Ravager setting up right now. Yeah, I would imagine, okay, maybe he's actually going to prioritize the starport and the Banshee, okay. So another way of doing this, basically, is we're going to see the SCVs will pull away and try and hold the bunker just so you can hold the low ground. Reaper doesn't have its grenade. A grenade in the center here just takes some of the damage output away from this army. Loses the Reaper there. He takes down a couple of the roaches already, though. So 2 roaches already downed, and only 3 SCVs lost. Banshee on its way. And the CC will just lift up here. Pure actually cancelled a couple of Marines. I'm not sure why. Not sure what he was trying to afford instead. Didn't actually start anything else up. Now he's come back into them. So yeah, prioritizes the Banshee, then into the Cyclone. It does mean it's a little bit longer until you get a unit up. But the Banshee obviously 100% shuts this down. The Cyclone does a bit more kind of pushing this around. Like this, just try and drop the CC and build another SCV, but he realizes, oh okay, you're actually just going to keep hitting it and I'm not going to actually get an SCV out. But it's a nice try, right? Because if you're trying to get an SCV out, right, it's just one more worker you then have by the time it comes to taking the natural back. So again, some little things to kind of watch out for. As we do see these Ravages and so on, just going to be coming back away up to the top right side of the map here. So away they go up to the right hand side, and again for now should be rather happy with where they are. Well, clock coming up, so obviously the Banshees can get aggressive here, and this is going to be Solar's issue. Can he defend the Banshees without taking too much damage? Kira for the 3rd game in a row is going to show us bio once again. Not interested in mech, no thank you. Interesting, we really are seeing kind of the mech play stopped being used by a lot of the Terran players. TY still using it a lot earlier today, but I mean, someone like Kira just going for mech, going for bio every game, kind of just shows you that the mech meta might truly be over for at the moment. Get 5, 6 workers killed here. Banshee does a pretty decent job. Again, roach speed on the way up. Queen gonna come across and inject into the lair. Let's get that inject going. And Banshee back around the top, looping around as we do see engineering bay is still on the way out here from Kira as well. So getting those engineering bays up and running. Banshee taking some damage as the cloak fades away, but I mean, already 7 workers killed, and now look at this. Banshee going to come in on the 3rd base, and guess what? Overseer's not here yet. It's on its way over, but kills an extra drone, forces the Spore Crawler. Good damage by Kua. Just again, he's up in workers. You know, only by a couple. As you can see, Solar's plan. He's got Pneumatized Carapace, he's going to lift up the Queens. He's going to go all in. He's just going to go for Roach Ravager Queen all in. It means that if the Banshees come home defensively, they're not going to be in as great a spot as they might want to be because the Queens are there to defend them. But this bunker is still alive from Kua. Stim Pack's about to be done. I'm not convinced this really does enough here from Solar, but let's find out. First Siege Tank also about to be ready. Banshees picked off 1 Queen across the map. The Spore Crawler's going to have to relocate. Don't know if those Banshees actually make it home to join this fight, but I'm not sure if it matters. Let's find out. There's a couple drones going down. I mean, again, just dealing more damage just makes Solar's life so much more difficult, right? Here we go, though. Roach Ravager arriving. Let's see if he's going to repair the orbital command, which is getting corrosive fouled. Again, the fact you have Stim here is just a massive deal. Second Siege Tank already on the way. I'm just not convinced there's going to be enough here. There's the Stim as the Roaches and Ravagers have to push through an awful choke point to really break into this position. There's just way too many units here from Secure, right? Pushing forwards, he's losing a lot of SCVs, but obviously the damage he's done, he's only been evened up in worker count right now. As these Roaches go down, the Ravagers do not last very long afterwards. Solar loses pretty much everything on this attack, and 22 workers killed, is it enough to transition away? I don't think it is, right? I mean, you've got a stimmed up, upgraded up bio army. Solar's going to check the main base. I think he's just checking the main base before he GG's. Wants to double check how much Kua has.